he doesn't think that I'm driving and holding the phone, because one thing you don't want to play with my dad about is irresponsibility while driving. All right, so today's Sunday, and I'm on my way to pick up a few groceries, get some things organized for the week coming up, and the kids, and just how life goes. And I want to check in for a quick second, because there's a topic I want to address. Owning your truth. Do you know how many of us hesitate to move in whatever direction it is because we're afraid of so and so finding out, or if they knew this, or whatever it is? And so what ends up happening is that fear ends up controlling you more so than the dream, or more so than the destiny, or more so than the heart's desire. It's the fear that ends up controlling you. Own your truth. There's this lady at work, I absolutely adore her. Like, from the first moment I met her, like, she's a lot, but that's just her personality. And if you're not careful, you'll take it personal, but it's not. That's just her personality. One thing I absolutely love about her is she owns her truth. It doesn't matter. She comes to work talking crap every morning, every single morning, but she stands behind it. She owns her truth. It's not drama crap. She's just talking noise about work, and she owns her truth. So if you confront her about it, it's just like, yeah, I said this and this is what I meant. And so one day, I had just moved to a new section or department or whatever at work and was learning something, and they told me to pick in layers. I didn't really know what that means. First warehouse job, so kind of flying by the seat of my pants a lot of times, right? But I think I'm doing a beautiful job doing it, and I actually enjoy it. But anyways, and so I was not picking in layers. I was picking at my convenience. And she looked at me and she said, this is what I mean by talk crap. She looked at me and said, "You're the problem." And I was like, what? So then she explains to me how I'm the problem. Do you know the balls that it took for her to say that to me? For her, that's just who she is. Most people would have let me keep doing that the wrong way and never said anything for fear of confrontation. The fear of controls you more than. She knew I was doing it wrong, but if she would have let fear control her, the fear of would have controlled her more so than the desire to do things right. And if you know anything about her, she does her job, and she's going to do it the right way. And if she sees you doing it wrong, she's going to tell you. Now, she's not full on pleasantries and all these different things, so she just literally told me, "You're the problem." And I was taken aback by that at first. And I was like, oh my God, nobody in my life has ever told me that I'm the problem. You know how we want to take things personal sometimes. And I was like, she wasn't rude. She wasn't disrespectful. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't screaming. It was no reason for it to be a confrontational situation. She just explained to me what I was doing wrong. And so that goes back to what I'm saying is you have to own your truth. Who you are is who you are. What you've done, what you're doing, whatever it is, those things are just a part of who you are. But your truth is your truth. And you have to bag that truth up. You have to stand behind that, because if you don't, you're always in your mind searching out about it. If Lil Jojo and them see this, or if TT and them know this, or if Kiki and them, I ain't gonna be the one to tell y'all that what people think about you don't matter. But I will be the one to tell y'all, don't let it control your lives, because whatever your life story is your life story. Part of my problem with public schooling is I feel like there is the desire to standardize. The goal is standardization across the board in so many arenas with public school. The problem is that's not really how life works. Actually, that's not how life works at all. Life is an individual thing, because you have to live out your own journey. Your path, your journey is your own. So you 45 years old, ain't never been married, don't have any kids, and ain't never owned your own home, and you're looking at it like, oh, woe it's me, I'm late in this, and I should have done this, and boo. That's not your truth. Your truth is that you just don't have any of these things. There's power in that truth. And there are people that you can still speak to even in that truth. See, when you go around and you're trying to sugarcoat and you're trying to hide behind these lies and fairy tales and pretend stories and all these things, not only are you causing yourself problems and more anxiety because you're not owning your truth, and now you're trying to figure out how to make it match up so that people don't understand what your real truth is. The other side of that is there are people who need your truth. There are people who need to know I've had my car repossessed. There are people who need to know that as an adult woman with 2 children, I had to move back home and start over to figure my life out. There are people who need my truth to move on to their next step, because the thing is this: no man or woman is an island, right? And so what that means is our lives intertwine, and so though they be individual, they work together in a collective way. You need my story to move on to the next phase. It's almost like passing a baton where we're running 2 different races, but the races are still interlocked, if you will. And so that's the other problem when you don't share your truth, is you may be, I won't say preventing, you may be delaying someone else's ability to run their race because they're looking for what you have. And you have to understand how specific that is to you. Whatever your truth is, whatever it is, it's powerful and it's impactful, and it can change so many lives. Ooh, that light hit just right. It can change so many lives, including your very own. But the very first step is owning that truth. I love y'all.